Voting for Biden, never reaching the end. They say that the polls are fake, but I didn't believe. And then I saw it. Yes, I saw it. Oh, voting for Biden so low. Voting for Biden so low. Voting for Biden. That was my musical expression as to what I think about these polls. Voting for Biden, so low, so low. Votes for Biden, so low. It's not going to be enough for old Joe. It's not going to be enough for Biden. Riding with Biden. That's what a lot of these liberals are saying. I'm riding with Biden, and they're so certain of themselves that Donald Trump is going to lose. I was watching a video. It was an interview of Fareed Zakaria on CNN, and he was so certain of himself that Trump is going to lose because racism, because Trump is dividing the country up and people are tired of the division. And so they're going to vote for old Joe. They're going to vote for sleepy, boring Joe Biden, the guy who mumbles his words and goes blank all the time and acts like he has stage 1 Alzheimer's. Donald Trump is going to win. I'm very, very certain of it. He's going to win. Even Michael Moore knows this. I mean, Michael Moore said that Donald Trump was going to win last time, and he was right. And he's saying the same thing. And, you know, they keep referencing these polls. They keep saying, well, Donald Trump is trailing behind Biden generally by 8 points, 9 points. He's losing here, he's losing there. He's losing by 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, 8 points, whatever. And you know, I'm just not buying it. I'm just not buying it. And they said the same exact thing last time. They said the same damn thing back in 2016. Hillary Clinton was just going to dominate Trump because the American people just hate Trump's racism and his nationalism and his tribalism so much. They're just going to vote for this woman who looks like an inner city vice principal at a public school somewhere in Arkansas, Little Rock, whatever. It's just ridiculous because there is a certain face that Americans like. There's a certain face that Americans like. There's a certain personality that Americans like. Hillary didn't have it. Biden sure as hell doesn't have that personality. And they keep saying, well, you know, yeah, the polls said that Hillary was going to win, but we got it right this time. The polls are correct this time because the last time for the 2016 election, we did not count the uneducated. And by the uneducated, they mean people without a college degree. So basically, blue-collar workers, people who have a trade, you know. Supposedly, they're uneducated. I don't believe they're necessarily uneducated. There are plenty of people with degrees who are extremely stupid and extremely uneducated. But that's the term that they use. So they say, well, we didn't count the uneducated back then for the 2016 election, but now we're counting the uneducated, and people are going to vote for Biden. And I just don't buy that. I don't believe that because the uneducated, the people without college degrees, a lot of them are still going to vote for Trump. In fact, Trump won the uneducated people's vote. He won their vote. That's why he made a speech. He said, I love the educated, and I also love the uneducated because they got me into the White House. But really, people who voted for Trump are going to vote for Trump again. Generally speaking, they're going to vote for Trump again. That's just human behavior. I don't need to pull out an article and read it to you to prove that. It's just human behavior. I was watching a local news presentation on support for Donald Trump. And they brought in some professor. He was a specialist on American politics or something like that. Something to the likes of that. And he essentially said that people who voted for Trump are extremely happy with voting for Trump. They're very happy with him. And then there is a poll that a lot of the conservatives are citing, and that is that over 50% of Americans say that they are much happier now than they were when Obama was president. And that's under COVID. That's under the whole coronavirus Sharia state that we're living in. So I'm just not seeing it. Plus, you also have to remember there is, and non-Americans, I'm going to teach you guys something about the United States. Because if you ever want to come to America, you are going to definitely notice this. Because I've been living in America pretty much my whole life, except for that 1 year where I was in Mexico, but pretty much my whole life. And I've noticed this. I've noticed this for years. People from Eastern Europe, people from Africa, the Middle East, Asia, they may not fully fathom this, but Americans, generally speaking, don't like telling you who they vote for. They generally do not like doing that. They'll tell you all the details about their sex lives. Oh, Americans love talking about their sex lives. How many times they have sex, how many times a week they have sex. They'll talk about how they don't need Viagra or they do need Viagra. Like, they have zero qualms, zero hesitation to tell you those details. But if you ever ask an American, who are you voting for? They will tell you it is none of your damn business. Americans don't like talking about who they vote for. And the reason for that is because they're scared. Americans are scared. They are scared that if they tell you they're voting for some guy, that they could lose their job, or that they could lose their status amongst their neighbors, or that people won't like them, or that people may attack them, or people may pop their tires or key their car, or whatever. They're terrified of political, of societal pressure and persecution. So some random dude who calls you up and says, hi, I'm with the polling agency of Hillary Clinton, Little Rock, whatever. I'm with the Society of Political Awareness, and I want to ask you, who are you going to be voting for? A lot of Americans get really paranoid, and they don't want to tell you who they're going to vote for. They won't tell you. They won't tell you. They'll say, people who are going to vote for Trump, you know what they believe? They believe that the globalists, the elites, Bill Gates, George Soros, the people who run the world, they believe that the deep state, the Illuminati, the Church of Satan, they think that they're all after Trump. And I don't believe that. I think that's just a bunch of BS. Because America isn't, at the end of the day, America isn't controlled by the president. America is controlled by the CIA. It's controlled by people with money. It's controlled by corporations. America is controlled, at the end of the day, by the CIA and by big business. That's who runs America. Because without money, you have no empire. Bottom line. You got no empire. And then you have the intelligence agencies, which know more about the world than the president does. They know more about political happenings and what's transpiring internationally than the president does. And they know exactly what needs to be done to keep America powerful. They know they gotta arm this group to kill off this group. They know that Russia's arming this group, so we're gonna arm these guys, and we're gonna have these guys kill those people. Doesn't matter if they butcher 1 million villagers in El Salvador somewhere, where we're gonna shed a bunch of blood to make sure America stays on top. That's pretty much how America is ruled. Okay, that's pretty much how America rules the world. Russia is ruling over these people down there in Dagestan. Okay, send some Saudi operatives over there, rile up the Mujahideen, go kill some Russians. Yugoslavia doesn't want to cooperate with us. Maybe they're going to get a little warm with the Russians. Okay, arm the Albanians, have the Albanians kill those damn Yugoslav police officers, soldiers, and yeah, just to teach those people who's boss at the end of the day. Saddam Hussein's getting too close to Russia. Saddam Hussein doesn't want to cooperate with us as much. Okay, we're going to kill him. Gaddafi wants to remove his country from the American greenback. We're going to kill him too. That's how America runs the world. Doesn't matter who the hell the president is. Right, now that I've said that, the whole idea of Trump is the elites want to take him down. That's just all a bunch of BS. It's horse crap at the end of the day. If you believe that, I'm telling you right now, you need to actually study how the world works, generally speaking. I remember that guy who runs WikiLeaks. I forgot his name, but I I remember he said that Trump's going to lose. Remember, he said this back in the 2016 election. Trump's going to lose because the elites will make sure he loses. And you know, you can say, well, he was wrong. I'm not going to say he was wrong. I'm going to say he was full of crap. And he was saying that because he knows that if you tell the Americans that this guy's going to lose because the elites are after him, guess what they're going to do? They're going to vote for that guy. So some random dude from the, you know, the agent, the organization for political whatever, they give some random American family a call, and they live up in, you know, Arkansas somewhere, and they're going to say, hey, who are you going to vote for? They're going to be like, deep state. I don't want to let them know. I don't want to tell them because, Joanne, I don't want to tell these people who I was voting for because they could, I don't know, lynch me or something. I'm voting for Biden. I'm voting for Biden. That's what's going on. A lot of that stuff is going on. And if you understand, if you are aware if you are aware as to how Americans function, you'll understand that what I'm saying is true. The people who are very open about who they're going to vote for, generally speaking, are African Americans and people of immigrant backgrounds. Like, I'm very open. I come from an immigrant background. I'm born in the US, but you know, my parents come from different countries. I'm very open about what I believe in, who I don't like, who I like, why I don't like a particular person. Like, I'm very open. And people who've been following me for years know this. I'm very open. But white Americans, generally speaking, are not that open as to their political beliefs. They like to keep that stuff to themselves, generally speaking. So they bump into a bunch of people who are too scared to tell them that they're voting for Trump. And then once in a while, they bump into someone who says, I am going to vote for Trump. And those people are, you know, very open. Those people are, generally speaking, probably from, like, I don't know, Amarillo, Texas, or something like that. And those people are more open about what they believe in. Of course, I know. You guys know I'm speaking in jest. So that's the whole thing. That's why I'm not believing these polls. There was actually a statistic that was done back in December of 2019 that basically said that 30% of blacks support Donald Trump. And I actually can believe that. A lot of African Americans are going to vote for Donald Trump. We've been seeing a huge movement of African Americans leaving the Democrat Party and basically giving the bird to the Democrats and going to the Republican side. We've been seeing this with Candace Owens. We've been seeing this also with Kanye West. This has been a huge movement. They call it Blexit. A lot of this started out with people like Jesse Lee Peterson, and then recently you saw the rise of Candace Owens. Then all of a sudden Kanye West popped up and everyone thought he was mentally ill, and he was like, no, I really just support the Republican Party. I don't like what the Democrats have been doing for all of these decades. And that has given a rise to a huge movement of African Americans who are going to vote Republican. So I think you're going to be seeing a lot of African Americans voting for Trump. You're also going to be seeing a lot of Latin Americans voting for Trump. I'm not necessarily talking about Mexicans, although you will be seeing a lot of Mexicans voting for Trump. But I think it's quite obvious that you're going to be seeing Cubans voting for Trump. And Cubans are always going to vote Republican, so that's a no-brainer. But you're also going to be seeing people from Colombia, you know, people or Colombian Americans voting for Donald Trump. You're going to be seeing people from Central America, Central American Americans, El Salvadorians, you know, those people. Those people are going to vote for Donald Trump because these are people who came from countries that have suffered under far-left regimes or far-left despotism. You know, you tell a Cuban guy that you love Che Guevara and he wants to punch you in the face, and rightfully so, because Che Guevara was a piece of crap. Those people are going to vote for Donald Trump. And here's another thing. Biden is boring as crap. He's hella boring. He cannot mobilize the masses. Now, you're going to sit here and say, well, it's because the left wing has more of an awareness of the COVID danger. But you're wrong. George Floyd was able to mobilize tens upon tens upon tens of thousands of left-wingers to demonstrate against the police, and that guy was dead. Biden is still alive, and he can't mobilize 1,000 people. It's pathetic. You see, just from a optics point of view, Donald Trump is winning. Donald Trump can mobilize crowds of thousands upon thousands of people easily. He puts a YouTube video out, it gets millions of views in a matter of days. Biden puts a video out, it gets millions of views in a matter of months. Now, recently he had a couple videos out that got a lot of views, but that's very recently. Trump puts a video out, 2-3 days, it gets 4 million views. You got some video of Kamala Harris sitting, 20 feet away from some NBA players, and they all got masks on, and like, who the hell wants to watch that? What, a few thousand people watching, nobody cares. The left can be mobilized. And that was proven by the George Floyd demonstrations. It was proven by the Kenosha demonstrations and riots. It was proven by the Jacob Blake demonstrations. The anti-police demonstrations that we have been seeing for months proved that the left can be immensely mobilized. They can be violently mobilized. They can be mobilized with horrendous and destructive energy that actually can defeat Donald Trump. It can. But Biden can't mobilize them because the left, to a great degree, doesn't like Biden. They see him as some old white guy who supported a policy that put a bunch of black guys in prison back in the 80s. And I'm not saying that's true, but that's what a lot of lefties think. They think that Biden is just a part of the racist system, white supremacist system, whatever. And you have millions upon millions of Americans who hate Trump, and they can be mobilized, but they're not being mobilized. Here is another thing that you have to keep in mind. COVID. A lot of these Democrat operatives, they don't want to appear like they're breaking the COVID laws because they want to appear. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing. If this coronavirus thing was happening under a Democrat administration, it would be the liberals breaking the COVID laws, and it would be the conservatives saying, hey, we have to honor the COVID laws because we have to help the elderly. But because it's happening, the COVID crisis is happening under a Republican administration, it's the opposite of that, right? You got the lefties saying, hey, we have to honor the rules because, we got to protect grandpa. Even though we want to euthanize grandpa, we have to protect him from COVID. And you have lefties running around, crazy lefties running around, looting stores with masks on. Because, hey, I'm going to rob your store for social justice because, F the police, but I don't want to get COVID while I'm robbing you. So what's happening? The Democrat operatives aren't going door to door to tell people to vote for Biden. Because normally that's what happens every election. You got an army of Democrat operatives, you got an army of Republican operatives, and they're going door to door telling everyone to vote. Vote for this guy, vote for that guy. And I know people who do this. I know conservatives who actually do this. They go door to door and knock on people's door. I would never do that because I think it's a freaking crazy waste of time, but that's what a lot of people do because they think they're doing their civic duty. Okay, whatever. That's your prerogative. Democrats aren't doing it because they want to give the appearance that they're just aware of the COVID danger. We're not like those right-wingers who just want to kill grandma and grandpa, even though we want to euthanize grandpa. We're not like those other people. Republican operatives are going door to door. Republican activists are going door to door. The conservatives don't give a damn about COVID, so they're mobilizing. G.K. Chesterton, the British philosopher, he said something that was very true. Very simple, but very true. He said that a movement has to move. When they say the liberal movement, the conservative movement, what makes a movement a movement? The operatives of that movement move. You got to move. If it's a movement, you got to move. Pro-life movement, you got to move. Bottom line. Communist movement, you got to move. Muslim movement, you got to move. You want to invade Dagestan for a Sharia law, you got to move. That's the bottom line. The Democrats aren't moving. What happens when a movement doesn't move? It it goes dormant. That's what's going on. The Democrats have gone dormant for Biden. The Republicans are active. So the COVID crisis has actually been helping Donald Trump. Hasn't hurt Donald Trump. That's why when the conservatives say things like, well, the deep state unleashed COVID or the mainstream media is talking about COVID nonstop because they want to hurt Trump, but it has the opposite effect. It has the opposite effect. And I think the mainstream media knows this because they understand marketing, they understand optics, they understand what they need to do to get views, and they understand the political effects of what they say. And I think they understand this. I think the media wants Trump to win. Frankly, I believe the media wants Trump to win. Frankly, I believe that the elites, they want Trump to win. Frankly, that's what I believe. And this is a long video, but I don't care because I'm here to give you guys knowledge, spitting out them knowledge facts. So that's the bottom line. And here's the thing, coronavirus. They're saying Texas has got the worst COVID situation in the country. And the Americans, they see what's going on across the Atlantic, and they say, well, the Germans have to now do a second lockdown. The French are now having to do another lockdown because of COVID and all this. We don't want that crap in America. The Democrats, what are the Democrats talking about? How we have to keep pressing on about COVID, how we have to keep maintaining the lockdown rules because of COVID. What did Biden say during the debate? Well, we got to wear the mask, guys, wear the mask. Americans don't like the sight of a hijab. Americans don't want to wear a hijab. That's why Sharia law is never going to take over America. You think they want to wear a damn mask? Are you crazy? Are you that clueless? Don't you understand who you're dealing with? You're dealing with Americans. Like, I understand Americans more than Americans do. I really believe that. I really do believe that. Now, the Texans are voting in masse. They're voting in masse. More Texans have already voted than all the Texans put together who voted in the 2016 election. More Texans have already voted. They've already exceeded like 96% of what they voted last time. They've already exceeded 9 million votes over what the number was last time for the amount of Texans who voted in 2016. More Texans have already voted now than all the number of Texans that voted for the 2016 election. Who do you think they're voting for? Voting for Biden? All these Texans who live in the Valley, they live in McAllen, Amarillo, they live in Dallas. You think they're all voting for Biden because Trump's a racist? We don't like racism here. We don't like it. We love the illegals. You think these people just woke up overnight and said, oh, we're going to vote for Biden now because I just love me some illegals? Don't be naive. They're voting for Trump. Yeah, Biden is probably dominating in like Austin somewhere, but these people are voting for Trump. Anyway, I think I've talked way too long, so that's my thoughts for now. Hope you guys have a good Friday evening. You guys just heard some theology. God bless.